We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm so excited to talk to this amazing woman. She's a spiritual teacher. She is a healer and an author, and much, much more. Mirabai Devi. Mirabai, thanks for stopping by. I'm so excited to hear about your story and how you're helping so many people. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me on the show, Neil. I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, so which one do you want me to answer first?
No, let's just go because we're only going to get a couple of questions and we're going to have more than part one, part two. But tell us about how you kind of found your gift. How did that happen?
Yeah, so how I found my gift was really when I was 3 years old, and I was spiritual, and I was talking to light beings, and I was aware of the spiritual worlds, and I was aware of a calling, a deep spiritual calling. And I knew that I had a purpose and a mission. And it took me a while to figure out why I'd come back into this world. Well, fast forward, I went back to sleep at 7 years old, woke back up at 17 years old, became a vegetarian, and looked into astral travel as why am I astral traveling every night? And what is happening to me? And what does this mean? And why am I able to communicate with these angelic beings? And then that's when my gifts started downloading from there.
So define astro travel for me, for some people that might not know.
Yeah, so astral travel, and many of you may have experienced it, is when you find yourself floating above your body at night, whether you're awake or dreaming, and you're able to fly and travel into other worlds, planets, locations, realms. And you may or may not be aware of where they are, but typically you have a guide that's with you on that journey. So that's how it began for me when I woke up again for the second time at 17 years old.
Once you figured that out, you said, well, what does this mean? Were you questioning yourself at first when you knew you had this gift and were doing it at 17, astro traveling?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I felt the peace which passeth all understanding. And I felt that I had a direct connection to the divine and to the light, but I couldn't figure out how I was able to come and go to these other planets and realms. And it seemed like it was fairly normal for me, but my mind was doubting and questioning, like, how come this isn't happening for other people? How come nobody else is talking about this? How come everybody else seems landlocked into their body and they don't want to talk about the spiritual worlds?
Oh, wow. So that's you're right. They don't want to talk about, they don't want to do things. So what was your next phase? Because everyone's like, oh, that's not real. You're not able to do things like this. You're not able to find out information or figure out certain things. So you had to really kind of go out and find someone. As people probably are listening and watching right now that could be in the same position you were in, or questioning things, that needs to talk to someone like you.
Yeah, actually, I'm an interdimensional guide, and I am the teacher that I never had. So my goal was to become that teacher that I couldn't find to answer the questions that nobody could answer. So if you're out there and you're experiencing astral travel, or you're experiencing floating above your body, or you're seeing angels or light beings, or you're having communication with the higher worlds or dimensions, and nobody's able to talk with you about that or answer that for you, I am. And I'd love to talk with you about that. So reach out to me.
So how are you able to help people based on what you do?
So I'm able to help people based on what I do because I'm able to take where people are at, and I'm able to take what I know through being connected at a higher level to these higher worlds, higher consciousnesses, and higher light beings, to lead them on the journey from A to Z, because I've walked that path already. So I know what that path looks like. I know where they're going, and I know what they need in order to walk that path and make that journey. So I can hold their hand and use all the many tools that I've been gifted to be able to teach them how to do it themselves.
So other people can do what you do if you teach them.
Other people can do what I do if I teach them, and if they come into training with me of some kind.
So it doesn't matter if you have the gift or don't have the gift, Mirabai?
You know, that's a good question, Neil. I would say that anybody who awakens to any form of gift would be the best candidate for working with me, even if it's negative. Even if it's like, oh my gosh, I'm having nightmares and scary experiences, I can still help them with that. If they don't have a gift and they want to develop a gift, it takes more training and more work than if they naturally already have the gift awakened, but it still can be done.
What are you able to discover with this gift? Like, tell me things that kind of, I'm sure people need to see your live events or your other types of events. What types of things are you able to do once you have this gift?
Oh, so many things, Neil. So in my programs, I offer light transmissions. I offer communication with light beings and traveling into higher realms and dimensions. I offer intuitive readings for people to see the cause of their pain or illness or condition or problem or conflict. I help them to heal their heart, to heal their body physically from pain and suffering and illness. I help people work through emotional issues. And then I help people to really connect with their own gifts and their life purpose and their own unique path. So there are so many different aspects to somebody's awakening, to their spiritual awakening or their healing process, that it runs all the way full gamut from A through Z. So we have to start somewhere, right? And we start with just, I go into a state of consciousness and they ask me questions. And I'm able to answer those questions that maybe nobody else has ever been able to answer for them in their whole entire lives. And then I'm able to see things that nobody else can see for them and give them the answers through what I see by putting vision on the levels that most people cannot access because they're not available even to psychics or spiritual teachers unless they go to the highest spiritual realm or worlds.
What makes you different than a psychic or astrologist in certain ways? Yeah.
A psychic typically is somebody who can go into the astral planes. A spiritual teacher is someone who can go into the higher astral and causal planes. The higher astral and causal planes are areas where there are very, very powerful beings of light that can speed up your evolution, that can help you manifest, that can clear karma, that can break negative patterns and cycles. Whereas a psychic is more someone who can read into your future or read on the astral what bad things are going to happen to you, what good things are going to happen to you, and what you need to do or work on. It's like taking an elevator to the 4th or 5th floor instead of taking an elevator to the penthouse.
So you're able to stop things that could have happened to you with what your gift is. Meaning,
yes,
like, where an astrologist will kind of predict what's going to, not predict, but say, hey, this is potentially going to happen to you. You're able to spot that and come up with measures to not make sure that there's a different direction in your life compared to an astrologist to say, watch out, this is going to be really, really bad. I know this is going to be bad, but I can take you around that or discover something new, which will be much better possibility for yourself because you're going to see how we're created in energy, and that energy is going to give us the ability to control things much more than what an astrologist says is it's bad news. You say, okay, this could happen this way, but if you can really control your mind and develop the gifts that I have, you're going to end up with the result that you want. Is that correct?
So similar to what you're saying, just a little bit different. An astrologer will say, this is what's going to happen to you, and I can mitigate it by you wearing this and this gemstone, or doing this and this yagya, which is like a puja or a ceremony to mitigate it. What I would do is actually show them what's coming and how to choose a different timeline, take a different course, and mitigate the karma that's cause and effect, causing them to create that, and actually clear that karma, that negative karma, so that they don't create that, or at least lessen it in a way that they can sail through it. It may not be pretty, but it's not going to be life or death.
Okay, so what's really cool about this is this information is going to finally be out there by us doing a weekly segment on my show, and then all the different things, social media. People can go and learn about you right now and find out all the amazing things you do. I know testimonials are there. I'll sign up for your newsletter, all these different things. Where's the best place they can go?
So they can go to A Power of Love, apoweroflove.com/go to sign up on the newsletter and receive a free gift. My websites are apoweroflove.com and mirabaidevi.org. Search through those, get all the information. There's so many wonderful free practices, teachings, and all kinds of techniques and offerings. So people can immerse themselves and study before they even get to meet me. They have practical tools.
All right, Mirabai, we really appreciate it. Great information, and I'm learning so much. I cannot wait to next week to really dive deeper. Thanks again for coming by.
Thank you so much, Neil. This is very, very exciting.
You're welcome. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.